Ginger Baker, one of rock's most legendary and complex drummers, lived a life filled with brilliance, chaos, and contradiction. Known best for his groundbreaking work with Cream alongside Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce, Baker revolutionized drumming, blending jazz, blues, and African rhythms into rock in a way no one had ever done before. But behind his musical genius was a man constantly battling his own demons. Ginger Baker's life was never simple. It was marked by fierce determination, personal conflict, and a relentless pursuit of perfection that often pushed away those closest to him. Born Peter Edward Baker in South London, Ginger grew up in the shadow of war, losing his father in World War II. This early trauma planted the seeds for a fiery, restless personality. As a teenager, he found salvation in music, particularly jazz, studying drummers like Art Blakey and Phil Seaman. But even as his talent flourished, so did his impulsive nature. Baker quickly earned a reputation not only for his incredible skill, but also for his unpredictable temper and volatile behavior. When Cream formed in 1966, Baker's drumming stood at the center of the band's innovative sound. His wild, polyrhythmic style captivated audiences and set new standards for rock percussion. However, behind the scenes, his combative relationship with bassist Jack Bruce often led to explosive arguments and tension within the group. While Cream's music soared, the band's interpersonal dynamics were constantly on the edge of collapse. After Cream's short-lived but highly influential run, Baker jumped from one project to another, including Blind Faith and Ginger Baker's Air Force, but the same personal conflicts and erratic behavior followed him everywhere. Much of Baker's turmoil was fueled by his battles with drug addiction, particularly heroin. Throughout the late 1960s and 1970s, his substance abuse strained his career, his finances, and his relationships. He would often disappear for long periods, sometimes living in isolation, as he struggled to overcome his dependencies. Seeking both personal and creative renewal, Baker eventually moved to Africa, where he immersed himself in African rhythms and collaborated with famed Afrobeat pioneer Fela Kuti. His time in Nigeria offered some of the most innovative and creative moments of his career, but was not without danger and difficulty. Political instability, financial troubles, and Baker's confrontational nature eventually led him to leave. Over the years, Baker's financial situation became increasingly complicated. Poor business decisions, unpaid taxes, and failed ventures left him frequently facing financial instability despite his legendary status. Baker's notoriously abrasive personality often alienated potential collaborators, and while his talent was universally respected, few could endure his outbursts for long. In his later years, Ginger faced serious health problems, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and degenerative osteoarthritis, consequences of years of physical strain and a hard living lifestyle. Despite these challenges, he continued to perform into his 70s, driven by an unbreakable connection to music. Ultimately, what really happened to Ginger Baker is a story of immense talent wrapped in personal chaos. His contributions to music remain groundbreaking, but his life off stage was a complex blend of brilliance, conflict, and survival. To this day, he remains one of rock's most fascinating and polarizing figures, a drummer who changed the sound of modern music, but at a tremendous personal cost.